October 1274. 200 samurai stare across churning waters at the largest invasion fleet the world has ever seen. 50,000 Mongol warriors, ships stretching to the horizon like storm clouds. The choice? Surrender to Kublai Khan's unstoppable war machine, or face certain death defending their island home. But what happened next would shake the foundations of the mighty Mongol Empire. By 1274, Kublai Khan ruled the most powerful empire in human history, from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe. Yet one prize eluded his grasp: Japan. The Khan's preparations were meticulous. 900 warships, a multinational army of Mongols, Koreans, and Chinese. Most terrifying of all, explosive gunpowder bombs, technology unknown to Japanese warriors. But the Khan had never faced warriors like these. Leading the defense was Sukekuni, a samurai commander who understood something the Mongols didn't. Sometimes the greatest weapon isn't numbers, it's knowing your enemy's weaknesses. His unconventional strategy would soon turn the invasion into a nightmare. While Mongol warriors learned to fight from horseback, the samurai of Tsushima had mastered something else entirely: coastal guerrilla warfare. Sukekuni's genius wasn't in meeting the enemy head-on. Instead, he transformed the island itself into a weapon. Hidden caches of arrows, signal fires connecting cliff-top positions, natural bottlenecks that could funnel thousands of attackers into killing zones. Most crucially, their armor, lacquered iron plates that could stop Mongol arrows while remaining flexible for close combat. Every piece was both art and proven technology, refined through centuries of warfare. As scouts reported the massive fleet approaching, Sukekuni gathered his men for a final, desperate briefing. October 5, 1274. A lone fishing boat slips into harbor carrying chilling news. The Mongol armada had departed Korea. Across Tsushima, signal fires blazed as warriors rushed to positions. Farmers evacuated to mountain strongholds. In the fortress, samurai checked their equipment one final time, the air thick with ritual incense. Many composed death poems, following the ancient tradition of accepting mortality before battle. But Sukekuni had prepared something the Mongol commanders never expected. Instead of defending beaches where they could be decimated by archery, he created an intricate web of ambush points throughout the island's interior. As one young samurai's verse captured their spirit, "The autumn storm brings waves of invaders, but like the pine, we bend, never break." Dawn broke over Tsushima to the thunder of Mongol war drums. The invasion fleet arranged itself in a massive crescent formation. Bronze gongs and drums created a deafening cacophony designed to shatter defender morale. The first wave launched at sunrise, expecting to find beaches packed with samurai to use as archery targets. Instead, they encountered eerie silence. Sukekuni had positioned his men inland, hidden among rocks and trees. The Mongol commanders, suspicious, began launching explosive bombs into the tree line. The weapons detonated with terrifying force, but struck only empty forest. At precisely the moment when Mongol troops advanced inland, Sukekuni sprung his trap. Signal arrows whistled across the morning sky. Samurai struck from multiple directions simultaneously, emerging from hidden positions with lethal precision. The Mongols, experts at open-field combat, found themselves fighting in narrow gullies where their superior numbers meant nothing. Their devastating arrows proved less effective among rocks and trees where samurai could close to sword-fighting distance. The fighting was unlike anything recorded in Mongol military chronicles. Rather than massing for battle, samurai fought in small, coordinated teams. They would strike hard, retreat before reinforcements arrived, then strike again from another direction. Mongol commanders found their forces thrown into chaos, chasing phantom opponents through unfamiliar terrain.
The most dramatic moment came when Mongol elite guards led by a junior prince landed near the main settlement, expecting swift victory. Instead, they found themselves caught in Sukekuni's personally planned ambush. The clash was brief but decisive. The prince's entire guard was annihilated, and the young Mongol leader fled back to his ship, an unprecedented humiliation for the Khan's family. As afternoon storm clouds gathered, the battle entered its most brutal phase. At the northern beaches, Mongols finally landed their prized cavalry units. The sight of heavy horse in distinctive armor charging across sand would have struck terror into most armies, but Sukekuni had prepared for this moment. His men had buried sharpened stakes in the sand at precisely the height to impale charging horses. The cavalry charge became a massacre, not of samurai, but of the Mongols' finest horsemen. As night fell, nature itself turned against the invasion. The autumn storm finally broke. Wind-driven rain lashed the coast, creating hazardous conditions for ships. In the darkness, Sukekuni launched his boldest attack yet. Small boats piloted by local fishermen carried samurai raiders to anchored transport ships. They struck simultaneously, setting fires and cutting anchor lines. Confusion spread through the fleet as burning ships threatened to collide with others. The storm's intensity grew throughout the night. Lightning illuminated chaos as Mongol ships fought both weather and sporadic samurai attacks. The mighty invasion fleet began to disintegrate. Ships collided in darkness, while others were driven far off course. The samurai, fighting on home terrain, used the storm's fury to their advantage, appearing out of darkness like demons and disappearing just as quickly. By dawn of the third day, the sea around Tsushima had become a graveyard of ships. The storm, later remembered as the first of the legendary divine winds that would protect Japan, had wreaked havoc on the Mongol fleet. Dozens of vessels laid broken on rocks, while others had been driven far off course. For the first time in their campaign of continental conquest, the Mongols made an unprecedented decision. They ordered full retreat. Of Sukekuni's original 200 samurai, only 89 remained alive, many bearing wounds that would never heal. But the cost to the Mongols was catastrophic. Nearly a third of their invasion fleet destroyed. More importantly, the myth of Mongol invincibility had been shattered. When news reached Kublai Khan, he fell into a dark mood that lasted for days. The Khan, who had never known defeat, had finally met his match.